line 2305, there was a reduction. I assume that has to do with the layoffs?
You mean the reduction as an amended?
Under the amended column?
No. A lot of that has been, we put money into that line that also includes, it's like a holding line, not just for the actual teachers, but also for things like long-term subs. And when we get those, we've had several maternities. In fact, we have several things going on right now. We have an extended absence at the high school from the high school assistant principal, which made us shift administrators around, move a teacher out of the classroom at the elementary school, and now we have a long-term sub at the elementary school covering for that teacher. We moved that to another line, so there it goes to cover the long-term sub accounts, which we don't fund up front. We have money as a whole in there, but until we know where the subs are needed as we go through the year, we don't transfer out the amounts. So for example, if we have a long-term sub at the elementary school, we moved that money from this line into the long-term sub line at the elementary school, so at the end of the year we can account for where was the money spent. It's part of our accounting principles for end of the year reporting.
Right. So that's the 52,000 under substitutes, I assume?
Yes, that's the latest one that you've seen.
So the $237,000 less 52,000, is there other areas that gets transferred into? I know we had a transfer into special ed. Would that be?
Some of it went to special ed. You have teachers professional under sped salaries. There's 40 there. You have the 52 substitutes. There is a little bit that's going to go into psychological, and I believe, so that's what. And some of it was transferred between accounts in terms of the professional development teacher days. That's the other part. It's kind of a funny way of accounting it. We put it into this line and then we move it to the professional development line as the professional development days happen. The state requires that you spend a percentage of your budget on professional development. And when we have days like we're having one this Friday, right? A half day?
Yeah, half day.
What we pay teachers for that half day or our staff for that half day, we account for it in a separate line. So at the end of the year, when we tally up how much money we spent in professional development, those lines get pulled out of the budget and goes into the calculation of the end of the year report. So it goes in both directions, both for subs and professional development.
So I think that answers my final question on that, is going forward and using in the budget process for 12, we will start with, we have a column that has 2011
Yes.
budgeted amount. Do we use the amended amount? We use the...
Oh, you're talking about the other one. Hold on. I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. Are you talking about the approved school committee 2010-2011?
Yeah, I assume the original appropriation of the $5,365,000 is the starting figure for the 2010-11 original appropriation under professional teachers.
Now you got me lost.
Well, what I'm saying is this $5 million, $365,000 on the column listed original appropriation.
Oh, I see. You're not going into this sheet.
Well, what I'm saying is that amount is what's used, maybe it's a portion, But you have a column on the budget worksheet for original appropriation, and then there's also a line item for professional development. Well, is this shift, is this transfer take into account?
Not sure what you mean.
Well, the original appropriation of teachers for $5,365,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you also, we have a line item for professional development.
Yes.
And that, on our budget,
Yes.
money's transferred from professional teachers into professional development as it takes place, correct?
Yes.
So we started out with zero for professional development, or?
For teacher days, yes.
Oh, for teacher days. Okay,
Yes.
so. when-
Professional development, if you look a couple of lines down, 2357, we put very, very little into our budget for professional development. A big portion of it comes either from special ed or it comes from grants. So a lot of our professional development that we register with the state in terms of expenditures, they come out of those 5 days that we've built into the contract year and the half days, it's like 4 half days and the full 5 days of staff development. Those are the ones that are within the budget.
Thank you, that'll help me as we go forward in the budget process.
Madam Chair, Dr. Colley, you mentioned you also transfer money into psychological. What
Sub.
do we need, what's being transferred if we have a full-time psychologist? Like, what are we transferring for?
She's taking some maternity time.
Okay, that's fine. Just curious on, that was the purpose of us hiring a psychologist, so. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Colley. Item E, update on the Green Project.
Green projects. Actually, good news there. We were able to secure the funding for the green projects. Next step is going to be able to meet as a subcommittee. I believe that is the 16th. Yep, 16th from 5 probably to about 7. We will be interviewing and hearing presentations from 2 companies, 2 management companies, and hopefully by the end of that night, choosing one of them to be the managers of these projects. At the same time, we will be setting up another meeting to take a look at the proposals from firms that are design or architectural firms, and that'll be the next step. I'm hoping to hear by the end of the month for the final approval, and probably we'll have to sign some contract papers with MSBA. And it's good news because I've heard of a couple of districts that I know are putting in, and they haven't even gotten their funding yet. So I got a few congratulations from other superintendents today at a meeting that I was at. So we look to be in very good shape. So it's moving forward. I just wanted people to know the 16th we'll be having that meeting to choose the management company.